Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to a new bud apps from Cem Olcay called Note2B. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Additionally, if you would like to participate in the giveaway, please do follow the instruction contained in the video description. Thank you again. Right, so we are inside the AUM and we are going to create a MIDI channel like so, and we are going to search for Note2B, which is this new fantastic app from Cem Olcay. And let's open it up. So it's a MIDI quantizer, but it's a MIDI quantizer which you can also use to enable and disable the notes that you are quantizing to. So as you can see here, you have different octaves on the screen, and you can see that there are different octaves because you see this number here, -1 for the particular octave, octave number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. You have an X here to cancel everything that you're selecting in terms of the notes, in terms of toggling them. And of course, you can reverse that. You can press on the note to enable that or not in terms of quantizing to that note. You can have patterns here, which is quite normal in bud apps, and please do check out the tutorials where I explained how to use those. And you have keys, of course. You can select the key, the scale, and you have an interesting option here which is called all, and that's interesting. If you, for example, disable that C note here with all set to off, it disable only that note. But if you have all set to on, when you disable that C, it disable all the Cs for all the different octaves. So just remember that. It's very handy actually, and I'm going to leave it on. So let's go to scale and let's select minor. You can see that it has removed already some of the keys like the C sharp, E, A, and B. So you have a minor scale selected. Now in terms of setting, it's very simple. You can choose the pattern CC number, your MIDI input channel, then you can enable the quantization of notes, and then you have some useful link for the tutorial review, other apps and feedback. So click them. So this is a MIDI quantization tool, so it needs a MIDI source. So let's double click below and let's bring in another fantastic app from Cem Olcay called Polybud, and let's link the two so that we have a Polybud driving like so Note2B. So the MIDI input into Note2B is Polybud checked here. Okay, we need an audio source, so let's choose something different this time. Let's go for Spelldozer, which is a really nice instrument from Clavegrand done with Wintergarten. So let's decrease the volume there as well. So if we click play, you don't hear anything because I need to make the connection here so that the MIDI note messages come from Note2B. Nothing really special. Is repeating these C2 notes, and as you can see here, when I click play, it's quantizing to that C2. Makes perfect sense, right? Okay, now let's make it a little bit more interesting. So first of all, I like to add a little bit more effects, like something like Stellar Vox there, which I love very much and I recommend as well. And then we go back into Polybud, we go to randomization here and we choose different level of randomization for the different notes which are there. And we go also to scale and we select something chromatic so that when the notes are generated here, they will be generated based on the chromatic scale, but then they will be quantized to the minor scale that we have here. So let's click play. Now let's see how it works in terms of filtering, because that is one of the key characteristics of of a note B. So you can disable the notes which are enabled for quantization. So for example, you remove that C or that D so that it doesn't quantize anymore to C and D via messages. So let's bring up the AUM keyboard. Right, we go here on the menu, we choose MIDI controls. We ensure that the assigned here MIDI source is keyboard. If not, select keyboard. Of course, for the example that we are using in this video, but you could use another MIDI source like an LFO from another application. We go to MIDI 1, which is the first MIDI channel. Then we choose Note to B. And you can see as exposed parameters, you have notes at the bottom there. So let's choose something interesting here. So we go to C3 there and we enable that, and then here we choose as a note to enable that, and we go to C3 like so. Okay, if everything is okay, you can see here I'm enabling and disable that C note, and because I have the all setting there, I disable all the C notes for all the octaves. Now let's have a little bit more assignment while we are here. So let's do these quickly. So we go up here, we choose that D there, we enable it, and we go up to, why not, D there, perfect. Then we scroll up again, and we take other notes like that D sharp 3, following the minor scale, of course, and we set it to, D sharp 3, and almost there. There it is, okay. Then we scroll down again, perhaps we choose that F there, and we go to F, like so, that G there, so we go to G3 and almost there, okay. Then let's do G sharp 3, we enable that as well for, too far, G sharp 3, and then we do A sharp 3 as well as the last note to cover effectively all the minor scale. So let's test that. Yeah, that is for D, that's for F, then the G, then the G sharp, and the A sharp. So you can enable and disable them like so remotely, and that is great fun as you are playing. And in my view, is even more interesting when you speed it up in terms of rate here. So let's say 1/16, and let's play. So it's quite nice in my view. So now let's create another audio channel, and let's choose something like a bass. So we go for Mariana here, which is fantastic. Now let's double click to bring in another instance of Polybud, like so. Now let's open this up, and we go for settings, and we choose channel number 2. Okay, so now we link this instance of Polybud into Note to B, like so. Okay, so both instances of Polybud goes into Note to B. The first one using MIDI channel number 1, the second one using MIDI channel number 2. Now we go to Spelldozer, and we ensure that it responds only to MIDI channel number 1. And we go to Mariana, link it now to Notes to B again, but these will respond only on MIDI channel number 2. Okay, now let's go inside here and choose an instrument and make some adjustment. I'm sure that we have to make in terms of actually volume. And let's play. let's sometimes you get notes which are stuck like that, so that happens. And now let's go for randomization here, and let's apply some randomization like that, and click play. Okay, so you can see that there are some notes stuck. That happens. There were the same notes from a moment ago, and you can continue like that. It is actually quite great. You can even go as far as to say, you know, let's bring in Digistick like so, and then let's I don't know, for example, have another version of Polybud like so, and perhaps create another version of Note to Be like so. Connect the two, the third version of Polybud like so. Then we go to Digistick there, and we connect it to the second instance of Note to Be, right? So that's the only one used, so we don't worry about the MIDI channel. Let's adjust a bit the volume there. Okay, and then you can start to actually adjust here in terms of Polybud. So perhaps we go to this height here. So let's check. So you can hear that. That is activating, of course, Digistick 2. You might have to adjust a little bit the mixing here, because is of course picking, and then of course you could again put some randomization there like so, not too much. What you can do, you can use Note to Be here in this instance to remove some of the notes that you don't want to quantize to, which will have the effect of removing some of the notes played by Digistick 2, which is great. It enables you to create a bit of a bit. Or not some of the notes here, which is absolutely great using, for example, the AUM keyboard. So as you can see, it's actually quite powerful. Perhaps next time I tried a different bass app in terms of avoiding some of these stuck notes, and perhaps that is something that will be removed, as this is the first released of Note to Be, but it's nevertheless a fantastic app. So I really encourage you to actually have a go, because you're going to have lot of fun. Thank you very much. Bye.